I applied early decision, so it was about December 14th of, 2002? 2003? 2002. It was 2002.
When I found out I got into Yale, I'd applied early admission, and so you could find out on a website.
I remember going back home and turning on the computer and
checking compulsively, every 30 seconds? No, more like every 10 minutes.
I didn't think we were going to hear for like another week.
And I went to it like a day early just so I could bookmark the page, just so I could come home after school the next day, run to the computer and do it.
I had some link to a website.
loading, and you just see the little blue bar going slowly and steadily and filling up.
The screen pops up, like, welcome to the class of 2006.
And a little Bulldog came up, and it sang to me.
Of like playing Bulldog, Bulldog, bow, wow, wow, Eli, Yale. And I was really confused.
I talked with my peers here when we got here, and we didn't understand why there was music playing, or if welcome to the class of 2006 meant yes, you're accepted.
And then I finally realized I got in, and I started screaming, and I ran to the kitchen, and I was screaming and saying I got in.
I was kind of alone. I'm like, Mom, I got into Yale. And she's like, what? You weren't there with me? I'm like, well, I didn't know who was going to tell me.
And I started just jumping for joy and just like really, like the usual, like what you would expect. And I ran downstairs and told my mom. And my mom honestly wasn't that excited.
I ran outside and continued jumping, and there was a rope swing hanging from this tree, and I grabbed it, and I sort of swing around in a big Tarzan circle.
Very exciting, to say the least.
A moment of pure ecstasy.
I think I cried or something,
It was somehow more dramatic, too, than getting a package in the mail. Because it sang to me.
A woman I worked with at a swimming pool at this convent back home found out I said I got into Yale, and she looked at me and she was like, oh. And I wasn't communicating, so I said, Yale University? And she goes, oh, you're going to college.
It seems like the Harvard mentality is, if you can work for it, it can happen. And in my experience, it seems like a Yale mentality, if one could define it, is more if you can dream it, it could happen.
Maybe some people feel they can't live up to what people think Yale would be, or they don't want to be what Yale would be.
I mean, maybe the biggest downside of being the genius at Yale is that people think that they can play Trivial Pursuit with me all the time, just be like, Brian, did you know?
It is just, like a guy at Radio Shack was like, wow, you go to Yale.
It's hard. Like I said, like so many possibilities. How do I know what my story is?
I feel like my day has been successful if I've scurried around a lot.
I'm really interested in ballroom dancing.
I'm also a member of the Freestyle Dueling Association, which is a club where people hit each other with foam swords for fun.
I think everybody probably here is weird to some extent.
Meaning and purpose of life.
I know you warned me about this, but I think it's a very hard one. Let me try.
The conditions of our life, that what matter to us about our lives, that the way we negotiate our lives is all done knowingly under the shadow of death.
Really? That's depressing.